GM. GM. Today is Wednesday, 5th of June, daily levels. So, first of all, we had a massive day of flows for Bitcoin ETFs. 886 million, which is, I think, the second biggest day ever. Interestingly. Second biggest day, because I know we had $1 billion day over here. Yeah. The next biggest, they were all in the 600, I believe. So, second biggest day of inflows ever for the ETFs. Huge. And Bitcoin is showing the most strength here, as you'd expect. So you got BTC holding up really well. Not even holding up now. I think Bitcoin's breaking out. And we're seeing this perfect consolidation forming, or has formed, above the 67k order block, this area where it moved up, broke structure, held, has formed a base, had the retest, pushing now. I mean, it's going to hit 72. I think that's inevitable. And the only question becomes then, at that point, do we see any kind of rejection from there, or does it just rip straight through into new all-time highs? Depends. Obviously, don't know what's going to happen for sure, but the entire setup has been bullish ever since 64k broke. So we had the 64k level down here that it couldn't reclaim the first time, came back below it, and you look at the daily bands as well. We broke above it, 15th of May, along with bands cross, and price holding and squeezing higher into a nice lengthy consolidation between 67 or 66 roughly and 72. And I think that's really all. Just keep an eye on that as Ethereum lags, as ETH BTC drops way back, and as I don't switch my Bitcoin into ETH yet, because as I've said for fucking ages, I'm waiting for this thing to actually flip green, which it hasn't. I think it will at this point or this time, but you can see the importance of not going early on it. Still heavily Bitcoin, and happy to be so, as it's showing by far the most strength. So from that perspective, BTC is looking good. I mean, I drew out on, I don't know, I think it was on Weekly Outlook the other day. I drew out past for Bitcoin with a volume profile. Yeah, here we are. You had 2021 all-time high. You had 70k. And I said this, if we get above 70 and hold, that's it. Any consolidation above 70 is setting us up for all-time high break. We are now outside of the value area from all of this upper range, right? So from when Bitcoin first touched all-time high, back at the start of March, all the way until the bottom during the war panic and the post-panic sell-off, the value area is set, it's shaded in blue. We are now trading outside of that. If we stay there, then it's building a base to go higher. Very simple. Doesn't mean it will, but as you go in probabilities, it's getting more and more and more likely that BTC will get there, and that's the way it's moving. So, what else? Not much really. Not much else really. It's Bitcoin show, Bitcoin led market. Stock market holding up near the highs. Bitcoin starting to play catch up again finally, after having lagged slightly for a while. GME, just out of interest. Yep, down and not much change. Just looks like a lower high complacency bounce there as people think that they're going to become rich yet again from the exact same trade, which rarely really happens. Study Dogecoin post 2021 to see why. And speaking of Doge, some of the meme coins, Doge, Bonk, SHIB, WIF probably looking the best out of them, has consolidated for a while now and seems to be flipping this level from a previous resistance into a support, if it can. This actually extends all the way back here. There's a nice SR level that WIF needs to flip. Flocky, breaking out, one of the stronger ones, very much like Pepe's chart was a couple of weeks ago. And then Pepe itself, having broken out, has been consolidating up here, and I think probably soon is ready for another leg. Last thing I'll check in on is the election coins, Biden and Trump. Just want to see how they've gone. But the main focus, like 99% of what we're looking at here, is Bitcoin at the moment. Trump cooling off after having ran higher, probably needs to go sideways for a bit. And Bowden, after everybody gives up on it, what does it do? Starts to show some strength. And I said this the other day when it was pushing into the bands and rejecting and pushing in, rejecting, pushing in, rejecting. I said the longer it stays hugging the bands at the lows, it's eventually going to squeeze through them as it's doing now. Now, is Bowden fully bullish yet? I don't know. I would suspect probably has to come up, come back, and continue to form this base. But we'll see. Starting to move in the right direction at least. And that's it. GM. I'll see you all later. 2 live streams. Ask Michael. Wipeout Wednesday. We'll let you know when I get to my final destination on the rally. GM, GM, GM.